I'm running a little bit late today. Oh boy. I just got in a couple of minutes ago, so I'm running late. Uh, my plan was to start my live stream around 9:30, and it's actually 9:50. So I'm kind of like, you know, behind schedule. But however, I'm gonna be here for a while. I have some stuff that I want to talk about today. Um, I'm still trying to get set up. I noticed that somebody is here. Appreciate the thumbs up. Thank you, my friend. Listen, today's subject is gonna be is a conversation. Hey, how you doing, my buddy? I see a lot of people tuning in. You guys tune in the right time because what I'm about to share with you today's story is a little bit extreme, um, but fun. I just got in a couple minutes ago, so I left work, had some errands to run. I'm back in. I mean, I'm still dressed like I was working. So, but I'm so hungry. I need to have some peanuts before I could get this show on the road. So give me a minute. I'm still early. Okay. Oh man, I'm trying to find something real quick on my phone, but I don't know what's going on. Okay, got it. So yeah, today's story. You guys already here, and you guys are ready. But as I said, you guys are early, real early, I should say. Okay, I'm getting set up. Get some water. So I'm waiting to start this story. So guys, if you didn't give me the thumbs up, make sure you do. I'm about to jump into this story, but there's a lot going on tonight. Okay, guys. First of all, how you doing? First of all, I have chocolate tasting later. I picked this up. I have other chocolates, but I can't just eat a lot of chocolate. It's no good for me. Um, but the live stream is really early. As I said, I just started it right now. I'm running a little bit behind schedule. Um, I pretty much have a lot to talk about tonight. And my live stream, I'm always talking about something. So if you guys, are interested into some real conversation, I can get you guys input on, what you guys think about it. Been writing down some notes. Um, as I said, usually when I find myself having certain conversation with friends or family, even sometimes it could be a co-worker, whatever it is, I would take these stories and I would turn it around and I would make it I would say pleasant for you guys here on my channel. I wouldn't make it too extreme. So that's said, it's kind of early. I might want to wait a couple minutes before I jump into this live stream and we can start sharing the story that I have. I notice a lot of people right now when it's so early, it takes time to catch on, but give it a few minutes, wait for some more people to tune in, and once we have enough people tune in, we could start this live stream. Yeah, as I said, I have time, I have some time, so it's really early, so just wait a few minutes, guys, and you know what, while I'm waiting for friends of mine to tune in, I could eat some peanuts. So first of all, I think the first thing I'm about to do is I start with a question before I jump into the story. Hmm. Um, I think this is the paper. Yeah, I will start with a question before I jump into the story. But I'm just trying to wait for a few more people to tune in, and then I could jump into the story. Otherwise, I might not share the story. You know, it's Monday. People are tired. You know, some people might be sleeping. They have work in the morning. So I'm waiting. Today's story is going to be a good story. How you doing, buddy? I noticed that my brother Steve is here. I have a good story to share tonight. Also, I have chocolate tasting. Yeah, it's like a taste test, really. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up as soon as you guys tune in. So it's still early, as I said. Okay, you guys already give me a thumbs up. Usually since I just started, I wait a couple minutes for a few more people to tune in before I could get this story on the road. Now today's story is very I would say most of you guys that are listening would definitely think about this story. This is actually a really cool story I'm about to share with you guys. As I said, it's still early, so I'm waiting for a few minutes for a couple people to tune in. But some people will miss it. You'll miss the story. Now, today's story is gonna be a good one. Trust me. But before I start the story, okay, you made it today. Happy to see you made it. I know you've been busy. I know you're going through a lot, Slim. So thank you, Slim, for the thumbs up like always. I know you guys do a lot of back and forth thing. Um, but I'm about to jump into this story. I usually wait for like a few people to tune in. Hmm? Well, I'm happy that you're good, Steve. Steve said thumbs up. Okay, thank you, Steve. Really appreciate the love. Appreciate the thumbs up. I'm about to jump into this story real quick. Sometimes I wait for it, but before I start this story, there's one thing I want to share with you guys that are watching. I know a lot of people not here yet because with this live stream, sometimes it takes time to get people to catch up. Not everyone get the notifications. Sometimes people are busy, all kinds of stuff going on. But eventually, you'll see one or two people tuning in. But anyway, you guys just listen to the story. Just give me your feedback on what's going on. But first thing, before I start the story, I have a question. Okay, and hold on. How does the question go again? It's okay. I'll just use what I have here. I have two different things, but I write it in the best way I know how. So are you guys there? Are you guys ready? Just give me a minute. Let me get set up, get my papers together, so I could share the story real quick with you guys. But I'll start it with a question, though, as I said. Well, what I have here. Okay, thank you. I noticed that. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. Appreciate the love. I noticed that Luscious Shorty's here as well. So there's a few people that's tuning in. So thank you guys for tuning in, showing the love. So today's story is gonna be a good one, as I said. but let me just start with the okay, I see a few more of my friends tuning in. I'm about to share a story with you guys. You know, make sure you give me a thumbs up as soon as you stop in, you know, show some love. um let me see who it is. A lot of people tuning in right now. You guys ready for the story? This is Spicy Taco is here. Thank you, Spicy Taco. So I'm about to share the story real quick. But before I start the story, I have a question to ask, you know, because it's all connected to the story. So the question that I'm about to ask you guys that are out there listening is, can a woman slash man be friends with someone without relations? You know what I mean? That's the question that I'm asking you guys. You know, that's the question. That's how it started, the question. Now, you guys should know where I'm going with this because the story is going to have something to do with that question. You know, I kind of put it together the best way I know how. Um, Slim said, yes, they can. Okay, cool, cool. Okay, so few of you guys do believe that a woman and a man could be friends without relations. Not everybody believe that, but I also, Slim, believe the same thing. You know, many people don't believe that. Now, I'm gonna get more deeper into this now, since some of you guys already answered. Okay, so what if you have a friend, right? Because I'm gonna explain to you how this whole thing fit into place, the story and everything. Now, I'll always believe that. Okay, well, Slim, that's good. That's good. And also, Spicy Taco said yes. You know, they think so. Okay, all right. Not many people believe that. Now I have, you know, a family member, you know, apparently, you know, they're going through some tough times right now. Okay, because she's explaining to me that she really having feelings for a friend, you know, like a childhood friend. They've been friends for like, I'm thinking about like 20 years or more, long time, you know, but they never really had a relationship. Maybe in the past, you know, I mean, I don't know if it was any kind of like physical thing going on between her and her friend, but I guess she just wanted to be just friends, you know. And I guess for the other person, they don't want it to be friends. So it's very complicated right now what she's going through. So for me now, I came into the picture because, as I said, guys, I try to be a good listener, you know, for anyone who's going through anything, anyone who's thinking about anything. If you're overthinking, no matter what the situation is, friends, family, even my friends here on YouTube, everybody's welcome to contact me and just, you know, um, share whatever you're going through. You know what I mean? I promise I could give you the best advice I know how. And, you know, I try to be honest. You know, I try to be positive no matter what. I never put down anyone because that's not what I'm about. Because I remember that all of us eventually will fall short. You know what I mean? None of us is perfect. I know that for a fact. So, okay, let me jump into the story. Now, they knew each other now for many years. Okay, in this particular, yeah, Slim says you're right. Okay, she knows. So they've been friends now for many years, and I don't know the background because, as I said, I don't really ask questions. I'm just going by what she said. Now, apparently, I guess maybe she's the one because since she's the one who came to me with this, so I'm thinking maybe she's the one who's having feelings, but the guy is not having any feelings. Now, for me personally, I think that's normal because if you're friends, you know, most of the time it has a lot to do with like, you know, friends. It's very complicated, you know what I mean? Because if you look like a model or whatever it is, if you have a childhood friend, most likely he'll have a crush on you because you do look like a model. But if you look like a regular person, or maybe if you don't look like, you know, hot at all, whatever it is, then a friend who's a male will be easy to be friends with you because maybe he don't have any kind of, you know, any kind of interest in you, or is just not very attracted to you in whatever way, you know, because some guys, they go by some kind of image, you know, that they have to see that, okay, well, she has this or she has that on, and I really want to be with her because of this. But once you're in the friend zone, most of the time guys don't get to cross that friend zone. So in her situation now, she's asking like how does she go about that, like what would she do if if she were to just approach him and just tell you, listen, this is how I feel, we've been friends for a long time, we should do it the right way, or we should just stay friends and just cut everything out. So I don't know if at one point, it was a friend with benefit kind of situation. I didn't really get into that because I don't really want to get into her, that's too much privacy thing. But I'm thinking for her to feel the way she does, maybe there was some kind of extra. She said maybe they look at her like friends. Okay, well, yeah, you're right. Maybe they look at each other like friends because they've been friends for so long. But what I'm saying, Slim, is that if a guy sees you as someone who is very attractive, it's a 90% chance that he's going to be attracted to you. Now, if you put him in the friend zone, he will not disrespect you. You know what I mean? But if you open your arms and you will be like, you know what, I like you and we should try this, then of course. That's why for me, my advice to her would be, first of all, you need to sit and have a conversation or maybe have a dinner with this person, and then you tell him, this is how I feel, I just want to know how you feel. And if he doesn't feel the same way that she does, then she needs to let it go. She really needs to let it go, and they could continue to be friends with no problems. This is how I perceive the whole problems that she's having. And not only that, it's not really a big issue because, as I said, if it's friends, it just means that there's a lot of emotions because as friends, you guys knew each other for so long. Oh, I noticed that Stacy, you're using that spam word. Um, you might not want to use that word subscribe, because if you use that word subscribe, YouTube automatically will spam you. So that's not a good idea. So you might want to delete right away. If you can, just tap on it. You could delete it. Not only that, if you used, Stacy, if you were to use that word again, subscribe, maybe someone who's in my chat right now, who has the power, they can block you and you won't be able to communicate anymore. So once you visit the live stream, they it's just good to be nice and it's good to be polite. Don't use any kind of swear words, or you just be nice to everyone, because this my live chat is more like a positive thing. I share story on real life events, stories on what friends or family members are going through. So I just noticed that you use the word subscribe and YouTube don't allow it. Whether you leave in a comment on a regular video or you on somebody's live stream, you cannot use that word at all. You could say, friends or connect, or, I've been to your house, or, come and visit me or whatever. You could use code words. Everyone on YouTube know all the code words. So if you use the code words and you want somebody to connect with you, be friends with you, you just use a random code words. Just put the person's name, so you could make everyone know, okay, you said the person's name. Oh, hey, how you doing, Laura? Happy to see you made it. Thank you for the thumbs up. You didn't miss the story. You're actually right on time. I know it's still early. A lot of my friends, sometimes guys are busy. They don't make it on time. But, I'm going to see people just popping in for a minute just to say hi, in and out. So for the ones who are really listening to the story, you guys get to listen to the story. And at the same time, Laura, she said, good evening to you. Okay, yeah, Evelyn, thank you. Happy to see you. As I said, I'm sharing the story, and I have other things that I have to share, like, chocolate taste testing and all that stuff. But yeah, so let me try to see where I was. Okay. I know I already hit the. Oh, okay, thank you. You see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You come through and you show me love. That's how it is. That's how it should be. Thank you. But anyway, you guys getting me kind of, hyper right now because you're showing me so much love. And, I know it's not a full house. All my peeps didn't show up. I guess everybody's busy. But the fact that you guys are here, that's enough for me. You know what I mean? Yeah, shout out to you too, Laura, for stopping by and showing love and hitting that, thumbs up and all that stuff. But yeah, let me get back into the story before I forget where I was. Let's see if I could find it. Okay, yeah. So basically, in the story, I was just explaining that I guess she was having feelings for this guy, but apparently, I'm not sure if the guy, felt the same way. They're friends, so most likely, friends they don't really know like what the other person is really feeling, especially if you feel a certain way, if you're in love with the person or whatever. I'm sure one person might see signs that okay, this person really loved me or whatever, but most of the time you'll see it as a friendship. Okay, yeah, he just loved me as a friend, or maybe she just loved me as a friend. You know what I mean? Not to be like intimate with or whatever. So it's very complicated. So that's why my advice was, yeah, Slim, you still here? Okay. So my advice basically was to let her know that listen, the first thing you need to do, okay, you need to find out if this guy, which is your friend for many years, feels the same way that you do. Okay. I know I'm not a psychiatrist, but I'm a humble person, and ever since I've been doing my vegan thing or vegetarian thing, I learned patience. I learned to be more kind, and I just learned to just be more positive in general. I don't like attacking anyone. If you notice my channel, when you come to my channel, I don't talk about like religious stuff. I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about negative things or what's going on in another. I'm talking about just stories that people can listen to. Maybe you can learn from it, and you could drop your comments, how you feel about it or whatever. That's what my channel is about. That's how I share it. So what I'm saying is that let me jump into it. Most likely, she's feeling a certain kind of way for this guy because that's the reason why she came to me, asking me like, how should she approach this situation. Now, it's very touchy because once you go to like a friend and you be like, listen, you know what, I really like you, I think I'm in love with you, we've been friends for 20 years, but I just want it to be more than friends, we should give this a try, we should really go on a date and all that stuff. The truth is, it might backfire, okay? Now, the reason why I say that it might not work, because it depends on what you look like. Men in general, most men are really shallow. And this is why they cheat, they lie, they steal, they do all kinds of stuff. Because mentally, they're in need of stuff. It's like basically it's nothing is enough for them. You give them, you keep giving them, and they still want more. And it turns out they'll do all kinds of stuff to get this so-called attention. That's the problem. When men want attention, they use it in different kind of ways. Where they use as greed, or they get violent, all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? They yell, scream. So basically, in this situation, if she's not what he wants, because that's what you got to look at. You got to look at the big picture. The big picture is they've been friends for so long, and not once, she ever thought about, listen, you know what? I think I should go on a date with him. You know what? I should really tell him how I feel. 20 years later, now you think she's thinking like, you know what? He's really good for me. We talk about everything. We get along together. We bond and all these things. But you want more, but how you know that he wants more? You know what I mean? So let me see what Slim says. Try with that guy that I was friends with. Didn't work. Okay, so Slim was saying that she had a friend, and she gave it a try, and it didn't work. Now that's basically what I'm here saying, Slim. I know many people might not understand or comprehend um, what I'm trying to say. The friendship and relationship thing, It doesn't really work. Okay, I know sometimes you hear about those fairy tales. Oh, he was my friend and now he's my soulmate and all that. Those are some fairy tale stuff. These things doesn't really happen on a regular base. You need to talk about real life things that happen all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you're in relationship, eventually you have to expect that, you know, this person might do something to get me upset. Like if you're in a relationship and you never get upset, well, you're not in a relationship. A matter of fact, the other person might not be in a relationship either. You're pretty much by yourself because relationships, especially intimate relationship, a lot of feelings is going to be there. And eventually there should be some kind of arguing. You know what I mean? Because like especially for people in general, when you argue for whatever reason, that's actually a good thing. That just shows that you have feelings. People who don't argue do not have feelings. So that means you're the only one in that relationship. Like, okay, growing up, if my dad were to ever get upset, he wouldn't say anything. He just leave or he just walk around the house and he doesn't say anything because that's how he is. But he don't have to argue for you to know that he's upset. And the only reason why he's upset because he have feelings for that person. You know what I mean? That's just how it works. So in any situation, now, however you look at it, when it has to do with friends, you have the friends level of love. Like you'd be like, okay, I love you, which is, you know, is as a friend, you'd be like, I love you, which is okay. And when you're in a relationship with somebody and you'd be like, I love you, it's a different level. You know what I mean? Because one is intimate, one is not. And that's the thing, you know, you need to, you know, be able to separate. So whenever you decide that, okay, well, you know what, I'm friends with this person for a long period of time, now you want to bring it together and have a relationship with that friend. Listen, I know in movies people see that often, like, you know, best friends get married and have a family together and happily ever after kind of situation. Oh, hey, how you doing, princess? I see you here in my house. Thank you for the thumbs up. Appreciate the love. You know, when you tune in, you know, I know you're here. You're good folks. You know what I mean? You're good. So, yeah. So what I'm saying is that, princess, I'm trying to get into this story. Um, yeah. So, she said she wants to know what's the right way to handle this situation because everyone knows that relationship is complicated. Friendship can be complicated as well. You know what I mean? So if you're trying to mix a relationship with a friendship, most of the time it might not work. And the reason why it might not work is because there's too much history right there. That's the issue that many people don't think about. They don't think about all the history. For instance, when you're a friend with someone, especially someone that you share everything with, like you would share like, okay, all your past relationship, your dates that didn't go so well and all these things you share with this guy, right? And now you want to date this guy and this guy have all this baggage that on you, basically it's your baggage, you know, but he has it because he knows that, okay, you've been through this, you did this and all that stuff. So when you're ready to be with that person like that, most of the time, no, it doesn't work. So the time that it works, those women are what you call like not only popular, but they got it. You know, everyone knows when a woman got it. You know, like for me personally, people who got it, you're talking about like Jennifer Lopez, Beyonce, Halle Berry, you know what I mean? Those kind of people, they got it. You know what I mean? So even if they have a best friend, like for instance, you know, um, Beyonce, you know, she not married, she have a best friend, and she was like, listen, you know what? I like you. You've been dating for, you know, I've been dating around, and I can't find a good man or whatever it is, and you're my best friend, so I want to be with you. In a heartbeat, you know, any man, you know, would jump to that situation. So, but not all men would jump to someone who's maybe he considered to be like a regular person. So you have like stars like Halle Berry, and then you have maybe somebody like Precious, and you know there's a difference. people look at them differently, or like the color purple, Sealy, so a man look at these things. And okay, Blair, you're here. Happy to see you. Appreciate the thumbs up. I don't know how far I am in the story, but I'm gonna give you an overall of what the story is about. Since Blair is here, let me just give you an overall. Basically, the story, Blair, if you're listening right now, is a friend of mine. She came to me. Apparently, she has a friend for 20 years, or maybe more than 20 years, long time, and I think she has feelings for this friend, and she want to be with this friend. And then she's asking me how should she approach this particular situation. As you can see, guys, I'm like this because I got off work a few hours ago, and I was outside for a while. I just got in. As soon as I got home, I just jumped on the live stream. I didn't even do anything yet. Pretty much snacking on peanuts because I didn't want to be on live stream for like too long. So, because I have work in the morning, you know what I mean? So, the earlier I'm on, the better for me. So okay, Blair, you're listening to the story because I know you guys are veterans, so you guys know what's up, like us, you know what I mean? Like for me, I'm a veteran as well too. So what happened is when she came to me and she wanted to know, like, how did she how can she approach this situation? Having a friend for a long time, and now you want it to be more than just friends. Like, what do you do? Like, how do you approach that situation? So for me, as I said, my advice was, first thing first, you need to, like, talk to that person. You need to tell that person how you really feel. Okay, first you need to sit down with a person, maybe at a restaurant, what I mean, out somewhere, just you and them talking or whatever it is, and you come up with it playfully, because sometimes you don't want to shock the person, but playfully you would come out and say, like, I knew you for so many years, and I must say, I'm madly in love with you. But just say it playfully. I'm madly in love with you, and I think I want to be with you. And then you look at the person's reaction. So based on their reaction, you have a good idea whether this person want to be with you or not. And then you could ask them a question like, would you want to be with me? You know what I mean? It's very simple. Like, would you want to be with me? You know what I mean? Like, would you see yourself having a family with me? You know what I mean? Or us getting married or whatever it is. Once you put those things out there, you will hear like whatever what she said. Blair, I'm going answer. Okay. Yeah, so okay, I see a couple of my friends here. Lifestyle, thank you for this thumbs up. Appreciate it. Few people tuning in. Lifestyle by Sumsa. Thank you, Lifestyle. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so as I was saying, is that it's very complicated situation when you mix friend with, I would say a more like a relationship thing. It's going to be very complicated. So I said, even before you take that kind of step to be like, okay, you want to be with a person, I think the first thing one need to do is assess the situation by sitting with the person, whether it's at dinner or lunch, breakfast, wherever it is, you guys get together and you guys sit and you guys actually have a conversation. Just a conversation, and make the conversation as friendly as possible. But your agenda should always be, okay, how am I going to say this? Okay, so let me put small hits out there, because I know women in general are good with putting hits out there so a guy could get what she's trying to say. But most of the time, some guys are a little bit under, I don't want to use that word, not as fast. That's a good word to use. Yeah, so some guys are not as fast and they don't catch on right away. It might take them a few minutes or even a long time. Just a communication and marriage. My best friend, we were friends from middle school. So, hold on, wait. Okay, okay. So, Slim, I don't know if you're here, but I'm sure you've seen Blair's comment. Blair just dropped the the grenade real quick. She said that she married her best friend. And I guess she had a family and stuff like that. Okay, Princess is still here. Appreciate the love. Yeah. So okay. Well, now as I was just saying before you tune in, Blair, I was saying that marrying your best friend and having a family with your best friend, I would say that's more like a fairy tale. Um, for me, I never really met anyone who married their sweetheart, maybe from college or maybe from high school or even grammar school, whatever. I never met anyone who. Okay, there's a few more people tuning in. Thank you for the thumbs up. Who's this? PCF. Thank you, PCF. Appreciate the thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. So what I was saying is that I never seen that before. Only maybe see it on TV, whatever, a movie. I gave my like. Okay, thank you, my friend. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that I had no idea that she met. She actually married her. What is it? High school? What is it? Oh, middle school. Okay, so yeah, Blair said I married my best friend. We was from middle school. Wow. And then college. So that's deep right there. If you met him in middle school and you guys move on to college and you guys were still together, I said, this is my another account. Okay, you have two accounts. Okay, I had no idea you have two accounts, my friend. We should definitely you know, hook up and share the love. So I appreciate you stopping by and showing some love. Appreciate that. Thank you. Shout out to PCF. What is that? Fu Young. Let me see. Yeah, PCF Fu Young. Shout out to you. Thank you for stopping by, showing some love. Big thumbs up to you too as well. Um, yeah. So I was saying that not everyone finds that kind of love, but in the end, when the person is your best friend like that, when things don't work out, I think for the most part it's probably gonna hurt even more than if it was somebody who what I mean, you just met maybe on a blind date or whatever it is, and years later you married that person. You have a family and stuff like that. But when you're talking about like your childhood best friend, and you guys grew up and get married, when that relationship breaks, I cannot find you. Okay, so you're looking for Blair. Okay. So Princess, I guess she's looking for Blair. Blair, you might want to connect with Princess. Sometimes it's hard when you're trying to find people. I had 18 wonderful years. I'm a widow now, but yes. Yeah, well, you know what? As I said, that seems like you pretty much lived your dreams. I mean, your dreams, that was your dream, a fairy tale thing that doesn't happen often. I was just explaining to Slim earlier that those kind of relationship comes around once in a while. Like, it is like some fairy tale things. Most people don't get to find that person from grammar school and they move on to get married and have a family, and in for whatever reason, I mean, they pass on. But the fact is, it doesn't happen often. But I guarantee you that that was a dream for you. That was a blessing, because those things doesn't happen. What I mean? And that was something special that you had. So in this situation, um, the only thing I could say to this person is that you need to talk to the person. You need to find a way to communicate, to say what you need to say. Think about it. Don't try to write a letter, or write a note, or anything like that, because if he's your best friend, writing a note, sending a text, email, and all that stuff, that doesn't really work when it has to do with a best friend or someone who you're close to. You have to be able to talk to him, especially if you know that person and he's your best friend, you know is what his reaction will be. So I'm saying that my advice is pretty much solid. You always should talk before you react. To talk it out, sit with the person, talk to the person, and find out, listen, how this could work. Like, I like you more than a friend. And I want to know if you like me more than a friend. Because the problem is, once you open up that book, it's hard to close that book again. Because now he knows how you feel. And once he knows how you feel, he'll never forget it. So that's why now, you're gambling with your friendship now. You know what I mean? Because sometimes by just sharing how you feel with your best friend, they might not feel the same, and it might be a problem. So in that situation, I would say you have to be cautious. You have to know what you're gonna say, how you're gonna say it. You got to make sure that you say it in a way that you could put it like, okay, well, I was just joking, kind of situation, to kind of bring back things the way it was, because it's complicated when you're dealing with a good friend. Unless you gave us sound advice. Yeah, she said. Blair said I gave a sound advice. Yeah, yeah, because you see, that's the thing, Blair. You know, I'm not, you know, as old as many people, but for me, my grandma, she raised me. I've been around my grandma my whole life. I still spend a lot of time with my grandma, so I grow with that old school mentality. You know what I mean? So whoever you grow with, most of the time you intend to have some of that person's trades or whatever. You pick something from the person. So growing up with my grandma, and that's why every day I gotta like call, she calls me, like, every day we call each other, we talk. I visit her every chance I get. you know it doesn't matter if it's a pandemic or not. I'm over there, check, make sure she's all right, make sure she don't need anything or whatever it is, because she's also a widow. So I go there to make sure she's good, because we got that bond. So that's why I'm saying that, in any instances, I could understand what you're going through, Blair, like how difficult it might be, for you, being a widow, and not only that, you taking care of your relatives and stuff like that. So you are pretty much a hero. What you're doing right now. So I appreciate that, and appreciate you saying that. I give solid advice. I try my best, as I said, to give positive advice to whoever needs it. Because sometimes all you need is somebody to listen. So if she can find the time to just talk it out with this person, I guarantee you, if he's really a friend and he's really cool with you, you might not have a relationship, but at least you'll still have that friendship. So you have to just say it in a way where he's not gonna get offended or anything like that. Because as I said, you put in your heart on the line, because he might not feel the same way that you do. So it's very complicated and difficult. As I said, it's just like my grandma used to say, like, when it has to do with man and woman relationship, don't get in the middle. My grandma would always say that, don't get in the middle, let them work it out. Let them talk it out, as long as nobody is being hurt. Let them talk it out, because something is happening there, and you might not understand exactly what's happening, because when those two, are, together, wherever, doing whatever, you don't know what's going on, you don't know what they're saying. So why should you get in the middle of something you don't even know where it's coming from? You probably just see them arguing, and you just want to pick side. But sometimes it's good not to pick side, as long as nobody's getting hurt. But if they're talking, let them talk it out. As long as they're not doing it in front of kids. I don't really recommend, and I don't really like the fact that kids grow up and seeing parents being abused, or what. And that's just you know, that's just crazy stuff. You know what I mean? No kids should ever grow up and seeing all that stuff. So that's why I'm saying is for her, since it's a friend, I don't really want to be in the middle of her and her dream, because apparently, you know, she's thinking about this and she has been thinking about it. Now, if it was the other way around, okay? If it was the other way around, now I'm about to flip the script, guys, okay? Because that story is already, you know, at the ending anyway. Um, Now, for you guys who are listening, I'm about to change this whole thing around. So listen up. Now, what if, okay, you are in a situation where it's like a friends with benefit, and because you guys are so cool, you guys been friends for many years. Now, what if you want more, but the guy don't want to give you more? Do you call it quits, or do you still stay in that relationship because you guys been at it for a while, you guys respect each other, you guys have a good time, you guys do all kinds of things together, you know what I mean? But one thing that you have to think about is, how long is this gonna last, and where is this going? You know what I mean? Because the fact is, in any instances, the friends with the benefit situation thing, that don't really work, you know, because someone eventually is gonna have some kind of feelings, and if the other person don't feel the same, it's gonna cause some kind of anger. And you know, if you're really friends, the last thing you want is anger. And once anger comes up, it's gonna be some problems. And you know, if you can't take drama and you don't like to argue, or you don't want to fight with anyone, you know what I mean, that's something that you might want to avoid. You know, so I never I'm not condoning you know, friends with benefit kind of situation, because some people, they got to do what they got to do. I don't know their problems, I don't know what they're going through. People have been going through a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? So in any instances, you know what I mean, I don't know the reason why, you know, for this guy, you know, would want to be able to put himself in a situation like that. But I could tell you this. Okay, Blair, let me see what Blair says. Make it just friends, no more benefits. You work more. Okay, so Blair said to just make it just friends, no more benefit, because the person worth more. Now, Blair is actually right. You know what I mean? It's actually right, but it won't be easy. You know what I mean? Because if you've been friends with this person for a while, but from time to time you guys, you know what I mean, hook up or whatever you want to call it, these young people call it. Um, the thing is, how long it's gonna last, and where is it going? You know, because eventually someone might get hurt. That's just the obvious solution. That's probably what's gonna happen, um, because remember, friends with benefits, there's no pretty much strings attached. So basically, because there's no strings attached, both person could do whatever they want, and both person know that they're not in a relationship. So now they're free to be like, okay, I could do whatever I want because I'm not in a relationship. You know, but even though you're not in a relationship, if you happen to be doing that kind of stuff, first of all, you have to respect each other. Respect each other enough to say, listen, if I'm gonna be with somebody else, I'll let you know that, okay, I find somebody, because at least you should have that kind of respect. You know what I mean? To not want to just play the person, because now you're playing with people's feelings. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, you hurt the person, and then it could go. So somebody say something. Let me see what they're saying. Hold on. But what if it turns out to be a situation where they spoke? I'm saying because. Okay, well, the thing is, I just read a comment, and it's very complicated, because when it has to do with the whole friends and, you know, friends with benefit situation, If one person find out that, okay, you know what, I really like this person and I really want to be with this person, I want to build something with this person, and if the person were to say, listen, I don't want it, that's not what I want, somebody's going to be hurt. And that's the issue with friends with benefit, you know what I mean? Someone always gets hurt. That's just the reality. Someone always gets hurt, because I know fairy tales happen, but fairy tales doesn't happen often. You know what I mean? It's rare. So maybe you could be one of those rare cases where it's like a fairy tale thing where everything works out perfectly. Like, okay, you guys were friends, and then you guys start messing around, and then you guys just had a talk. Because I keep saying this, in any situation, whether it's with your husband, whether it's with your wife, your girlfriends, fiance, who it is, you have to figure out a way to talk. If you cannot talk it out, then there's no relationship. Okay? It's just like I used to say way back in the day, since I was younger, I used to say this all the time. This was one of my phrases. I used to have a lot of phrases that I used to use all the time. I used to use it crazy. I used to use, my phrase used to be, if there's no trust, there's no relationship. I used to say that all the time. No trust, no relationship. No trust, no relationship. And that's actually a fact. You know what I mean? Proven fact. And anyone can look it up. Anyone can do the research. They'll see, they'll know that that's the reality. If you don't trust the person, then there's not going to be any relationship there. You know what I mean? So when it has to do with friends and all that stuff, first thing first, you got to be able to trust the person, to know that, okay, they're not going to do anything to hurt you. Okay? And not only that, if the person is really a friend, they're going to try to let you down softly. Okay? They're not going to try to, hit you where, when you're down on the floor, like, you know what I mean, hit you where it hurts, or whatever, whichever way you want to put it. They're not going to do that. They're going to try to break it down to you, and because real friends care about the other friend's feelings. This is just the reality. They care about each other's feelings, especially if they've been friends for a long time. Like, if you've been friends with someone for like 20, 30 years, 40 years, you care about their feelings. You do not want, like, for me, I have friends from way back, and none of these friends that I have, I would ever try to hurt their feelings, because I respect their feelings that much. Now, the problem is, I don't know if they feel the same way, but me personally, I would never say anything to hurt these particular friends that I have, because I know me and these friends, we go way back. And right now, everyone is married, they have kids, family, and everybody's doing their thing. But still, I remember, and we all know that, okay, these are still friends, because if they call, okay, listen, when you come over the house or whatever it is, I'll be like, okay, I'm on my way. Because even though we don't see each other every day, because I'm living my life and they're living their life, but we still have a bond, we still have a connection. You know what I mean? We still are close. Not because we're so far away, we're not friends anymore or anything like that. So that's why I say, if the friends, respect, and if the friend really care about you and love you, they will not want to see you hurt. So most likely, that friend would, I would say, try to let you down in a manner where it won't really hurt as much. You know what I mean? Um, I know that it's not what you say, is how you say it. So for most men, they don't think about the words that they're using, and they don't know that these words are quite hurtful when it has to do with a woman. You know what I mean? They don't know. They think it's just a regular word. But first of all, you have to understand that, okay, if someone is emotional, if you have a friend, a matter of fact, you should know if they're emotional or not. You should know what they can take. You know what I mean? Like most men, you could say hurtful stuff, and because they're macho, it might not hurt their feelings or anything like that. You know what I mean? And maybe you'll find a few women that's like that, but for the most part, you'll find, a woman that maybe let's just say, let's just Shawty had the change and missing. Yeah, so it's not easy. You know what I mean? It is a messy situation, but yeah, the best thing to do, regardless, if the person care for you or not, you talk it out, you get it off your chest, because I think that's very important. You have to say what you're feeling. Do not hold it inside. For everyone who comes to my channel, visit my channel, watch, comment, all that stuff, you guys know what I'm about. I share stories, I share positivity, and I'm cool with everybody who stopped by and show me love, because that's how it is. It's like one hand washes the other. So whatever good you do for me, I want to do that same good plus maybe a million times more. Yeah, so thank you guys for always, tuning in. I appreciate that. But yeah, I have a chocolate tasting taste testing today. I've been had this one, I just never tried it, and I have some other ones. So now, okay, what I did was today I went to the supermarket and I went chocolate shopping, because I cannot be going out every day because I'm forgetting to get chocolate. It's crazy stuff, I mean, I'm busy sometimes. So I picked up a few, and then every day when it's time to do my taste testing, I could just grab one and be like, okay, I'm tasting this taste testing this one. So today this is gonna be the taste testing. I don't know if any of you guys ever had this one before, but today I'm gonna taste test this one, Hershey's. It says gold. It says with whole almonds. I like almonds, so let's see. But yeah, as I was saying, this is a very complicated, very um, I would say sensitive subject. Many people might not understand how sensitive it is, but it is quite sensitive, and you just have to be able to think. You have to be able to understand, each other. And if you're good friends and you understand each other, the best thing to do is to talk. Remember, no texting, no email. Make sure you don't call the person on the phone telling the person, okay, this is how you feel. You always have to make sure the person is comfortable. Whenever a person is comfortable, whether it's a male or female, it's easier to talk to that person when they're relaxed, when they're comfortable. So you need to be able to catch this person when they're in their comfort zone, and then you talk to them. You know what I mean? So okay, for instance, a man, because I know I have few men right now watching. For you guys, so what if you want to talk to your wife or your girlfriend or whoever, because you're feeling a certain way and you need something change or whatever it is. Now the best way to do this is to find, well, you should know, because you're dating or you're married to this person. You should know what their likes and what their dislike is. So you figure out what they like. Like some women, they like flowers. Okay. Other women, they just want a walk in the park and hold hands kind of situation. And or maybe you could just throw your hands around her, hug her, make her feel warm, on whatever the situation is. Some, they like champagnes. um Others, they want to go to like a fancy restaurant. There's a lot of different things. Some, they just want to lay on the beach. Some might into nature and all that stuff. It just depends on what your wife is into. So you take her there, whether some people into like religious stuff, you bring her to the religious place or whatever it is, and then you sit and you communicate. Yes, face to face communication, that's the key. So you try to get your point across. Now, I'm not saying that your wife or your husband will listen or want to listen, because for the most part, some people get really good husband. I don't know about perfect husband, but really good husband, meaning he does all the things that a husband should do in order to make the relationship work, especially marriage. Everyone knows that marriage is like a full-time job. I'm not even going to say part-time job. So anyone who's ever been married, they know that marriage, you got to always work on it. I mean, you got to always do things for each other. I mean, it's like working at a job, okay? And someone is the supervisor, somebody is a director. Everyone knows that the supervisor does stuff for the director, but the director also have to do things for the supervisor. And this is how marriage work, hand in hand. They have to help each other. I mean, not necessarily the roles to play, because in this century now, there's no such thing as a role. anything that the man can do, the woman can do, and whatever the woman can do, the man can do. So it's not necessarily a role anymore. Long time ago, there was role play, like the woman they do this, men they do this. Not anymore. You know what I mean? Because as I said, I have a friend. You know, he was a dad. I don't even know what the name for called, a stay-at-home dad, whatever they want to call it. It's just weird, but he was one of those, person. He stayed at home. He take care of the kids. He take care of the house. He does the dishes, the laundry. He do the shopping at the grocery. He does all the stuff that a woman do, and his wife was working. I guess because she at the time was making more money, which makes sense. You know what I mean? So for the most part, I would say it just depends. Marriage is a full time. You see now hearing it from you, Blair, because you're a veteran and you know that marriage is definitely like a full time job thing. And many people they don't understand it until they find themselves in it. That's why I advise anyone before you get married, if you could, you should do the research. You know what I mean? You should do some research about marriage. Because sometimes you only talk to couples who've been married for a long time, and most of the time they don't kind of point to you the negative parts of marriage, where sometimes you argue, or sometimes someone don't talk to you, or they just they don't give you the hug that they usually give you, they don't give you the kiss they used to give you. You know what I mean? They just say hi and just keep going, or they don't talk about the days when things are a little bit cold. You'd be like, damn, he didn't even say hi, or you don't talk about the days he coming home late every 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like all the time. So marriage has a lot of things you have to put in perspective, and that doesn't even have anything to do with financial needs. But I'm just saying it's not easy, and it's very complicated. So the simple fact that what I mean, you could be married for that long, Blair. You know what I mean? I take my hat off to you, because you know 30 years, 40 years marriage is no joke for anyone. A matter of fact, if you've been married for 20 years, that's no joke. Meaning that you guys are pretty much a veteran and you're in it. But the thing is with marriage, I know people ask about Mandela, that he divorced his wife after he got out of jail and all that stuff. Um, and I was reading a book about that whole situation. Now, the whole time when Mandela was in jail, his wife was a little bit wild, on the wild side, and people used to make fun of him when he was in jail. So now when he get out of jail, you know, I guess he tried to say, listen, you need to stop that. And I guess she felt like, you know what? I've been doing it for so many years. All that time you was in jail, you wasn't there for me, kind of situation. She kind of forgot that even though he was in jail fighting for, you know, equal rights and justice kind of thing, um, she was out there doing her thing. And when he came out of jail, I mean, I guess all he wanted it to do was like just shut it down, no more. But I guess, if you've been, people picks up habits, and when you pick up a habit, it's hard to like drop that habit. You know what I mean? So that was the situation, I'm guessing. You know what I mean, with Mandela and his wife. So I think they was married for maybe what, 40 years, 30 or 40 years they was married for. But it's very complicated, because if you're separated with someone for, well, okay, they're married for 30, 40 years, but you're separated for like 10 years. So you have to really count the time that you was really with her. You know what I mean? It's very complicated. It said it can be beautiful but never easy. Every day need to love. Okay, yeah, you're right. Blair says marriage is hard, but every day you just gotta love a little bit harder. And that's what it is. So that's why when I'm saying about Mandela's situation, it just shows you that even though you're with someone for so many years, you still could divorce that person. You know what I mean? So either way, no matter how you look at it, it's very complicated. But as I say, and I will always say this, like what Blair been saying this whole time, she's been saying that communication is the key. You know, once you are able to communicate with that person, you know what I mean, you'll be fine. Oh, thank you, my friend. Happy to see you. Appreciate the thumbs up. Um, Tara is here showing some love. Appreciate the thumbs up. Thank you for stopping by. You know what I mean? Show Tara some love. So what I'm saying is that in relationship, right? It's never easy. So Tara, I don't know if you just tune in, but today's story is basically about a friend of mine, you know, family member, um, who basically have a situation. The situation is that her best friend for like many years, you know what I mean, like maybe 10, 20 years, I guess she's having feelings for him and she want to be with him, but she don't know how to approach the situation. So she came to me asking me about it. So I was like, well, the best thing you need to do is just talk to him. You know what I mean? Break it down slowly. Give him hits that, you know what I mean, I might be interested. I might be, you know what I mean, I might, you know, want to date you or whatever it is. Because even though it's your best friend, I think when you guys go on a date, I don't think you guys should be talking about best friend stuff. So best friend is very complicated because you have to know how to separate the two. You know what I mean? And that's the problem that many people are facing. They don't know how to isolate what's the best friend level and what's the relationship level. Now I would say this. If it's a relationship, you know it's a relationship. In every relationship, there are pros and cons. Not only that, in every relationship there are what you call expectation. You know what I mean? There's things that you expect in a relationship. It's just like when you're a friend with someone, there's certain things that you expect when you're a friend with someone. You know what I mean? But relationship is completely different from the friendship. So it's just like the same thing. Like if you are a friend with someone and you're doing the friends with benefit thing, that will only last to a certain point. Eventually, you'd have to call it quits. You know what I mean? You have to find some kind of way to be like, you know what? I don't want to be able to do this anymore. So maybe she feels getting rejected and losing the friend. Oh, you see now, Tara. See now you're talking, Tara. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I've been trying to say to her. You know, when I told her, I said, listen, you need to talk to him. You know what I mean? But you have to prepare that whenever you share this information with him, your relationship might not be the same anymore. You know what I mean? That's what I said. But I said, listen, what you need to do, just make him comfortable and you just break it down to him slowly. You just don't want to just, like, you know what I mean, surprise him with this kind of information because what if he does not feel the same? That's what I was saying when I first started this story. I was saying that. I said, what if he doesn't feel the same? You know what I mean? That might break the relationship right there because now he knows that, okay, you feel this way and he might not feel this way. You know what I mean? And then the relationship, the friendship that you guys, after a while, is going to become awkward because you guys are hanging out and he's thinking, you know what I mean? Damn, you know, I didn't know she was sweet on me like that. You know what I mean? Like damn, like really? So because he's thinking that now, you know what I mean? If he decided that, listen, you know what? I think I might try to date her or whatever it is. So now he's probably having sympathy. You know, I mean, like, okay, well, you know, it's my friend, and we know, you know, he's not doing it because, okay, I love you and I want to be with you kind of situation. He's just doing it of because, okay, listen, you know, I know you for a while, maybe I could do this. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying it's complicated because on one hand, you could gain something more than a friend, but on the other hand, you could also lose a friend, especially someone that's been there for you for so many years. So that's what makes it really complicated. But I would say for anyone who's going through any kind of problems, whether it's with wife or husband or whoever it is, you know what I mean? Um, talking does work. You know what I mean? The only time talking doesn't work is unless you're with somebody who's like have some mental illness situation going on. Those are the people that you can't talk to. You know what I mean? If you can say, I think if he wants a romantic relationship. Let me see. That goes back too fast. She said romantic relationship situations men aren't that complicated. Well, yes, you're right. Men are not that complicated. However, men don't really get emotional like women. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. So for her, it might be a lot about feelings. You know what I mean? Feelings. You know, they should be all in her feelings, but he might not feel the same way. So that's what I'm saying. That's what you have to look at. So I don't think she should be direct in this kind of situation. I think what she should do is yeah, I think what she should do, Tara, is talk. That's what she need to do. Talk to him, break it down slowly, and and if they're really a cool friend, I think she should do it in a playful way. You know what I mean? Like, cause if you want to tell your best friend that, listen, you know what, I'm really feeling you. You know what I mean? I'm in love with you, or you know, I think we should go on a date. Whatever it is, you know what I mean? You can't just jump and say I want to go on a date, or I want to be with you, and that's your best friend. Because if if it was the other way around, and a male try to tell his best friend who's a girl, saying, listen, you know what, I've been loving you since, you know, we was in, you know, kindergarten or whatever it is, and you know, I want to be with you and I love you. Not she's gonna be like, no, no, you know, she's not gonna look at you in that kind of way. So it goes both ways. Whatever goes for the guys also goes for the girls, you know. So even though men are not complicated, still you have to be careful what you say, because listen, if you're and a guy is friends for so many years, and maybe there has to be at some point where maybe you were attracted to him, or maybe he was attracted to you, you know what I mean, and you guys didn't do anything about it, and years later you figure out that, you know what, I want to be with this person. You know, it's going to be very awkward, I would say, you know what I mean, for even to bring up that kind of conversation. So I would say hits, playful hits, is the way to do it. You know what I mean? Before you even could come out and say it. You know, I don't think you should try to do anything physical for him to see that, okay, this is how I feel, you know? But for the most part, as I said, that you need to talk to him. You know, or if you could get him to listen to you, listen to what you have to say, and you have to ask like questions that you know that he has the answer. You can't ask him a lot of questions, like, because even though us guys, we are, you know, I mean, not so complicated, but you have to be direct. So you can't go around the bushes when you need to ask any guy a question. Guys are easily to be confused. You know what I mean? Because they're base their whole thinking on logic and understanding. And with women, I would say maybe 90% of a woman logic is based on feelings. You know what I mean? Or maybe they want to call it intuition. I think that's a good word that women use, intuition. Men never use the word intuition. That's more like a woman thing. That's a feeling thing. So that's what I'm saying. So for men, you when you are taught, that's why they say men and women are completely opposite, like on two different planets, because half the time when a woman is trying to communicate with a man, she's not saying the right words. So basically, most of the time he's not listening. And it's just like, okay, it's just like a woman, right? She's in a bar and a guy came up to her trying to talk to her. If he doesn't say the right words, she's not interested. She'd be like, okay, I'm not interested. But if you say the first thing come out of your mouth is something that completely throw like her whole psyche off, she'd be like, oh, I didn't expect that. Then, you know what I mean, it's easy for you to just, you know, smooth your way in. So that's what's all I'm saying, is just it's all about saying the right words, whether it's with a woman or whether it's with a man. And yeah, you'll be able to get your point across more clearer. So for her, I think she's taking a chance, But however, even though she's taking a chance, I think, you know what, especially right now, you know what I mean, with this whole virus thing that's going on and people going crazy and all that stuff, I say, you know, people are lonely right now. Okay? A lot of people are lonely. So I would say if she's lonely and, you know, she finds that, okay, she can't really go to clubbing, or, you know, she can't really go to these public places where maybe she could meet somebody or whatever the case might be. You know, most people, they going on the internet thing. You know, I never did the internet thing. I'm just basically, YouTube is my internet thing. I don't do the other stuff, so I don't really communicate with anybody else. And maybe it's like an email like kind of thing. But otherwise, not the chat. What do you say? Communication has to be straightforward. Okay, yes, you're absolutely right. Straightforward. That's what communication have to be. You can't go around the bushes. So whatever you need to say, you need to be able to get your point across without, you know what I mean, if and but and maybe and all that stuff. You need to know what you need to say, and you need to be direct. You know what I mean? And when you need to know, or when you're direct with what you want to say, you will get a quicker response, and sometimes you get a better feedback. So bottom line is, it's not going to be easy for her. She's going to be really nervous. You know what I mean? Like, okay, for instance, what if a situation where it has to do with friends with benefit kind of situation, and either the male or the female wants to break it off, and they've been doing this friends with benefit thing for a while. Most likely, whether it has to do with the woman or the man, someone will be in some kind of feelings, right? So if you decided, be like, okay, well, you know what, I've been doing this for a while, I don't want to do it anymore, you know what, I'm gonna try something different. It will be hard because now you're thinking, damn, I don't want to hurt this person's feelings. You know, we've been doing this thing for so long, we hasn't have any problems, all that stuff. But I say, bottom line is, if you're not happy or you're not comfortable with whatever you used to do, you could stop it. It's never too late to stop doing, you know, something that you're uncomfortable with. You know what I mean? And like what Blair been saying this whole time, the key is, you know, conversating, communication. That's the key. So in any situation, if you, first of all, as a woman or a man, if you cannot communicate with the opposite person, then you don't need to be able to be in a relationship with that person. You're supposed to be able to say, listen, okay, I want to talk to you for a minute. And that person be like, okay. And then you talk. Okay, and when you talk, I'm talking about they listen to what you have to say. Because when you want to say something, it doesn't mean that they need to say something. Because people get communication twisted. They don't really understand what communication is supposed to be. And that's why all these people are having so many problems with communication, because they don't understand what it's about. Okay, communication is kind of like debating. Okay? Debating is supposed to be back and forth. Everyone get their chance. And the only time you're supposed to jump in is when it's your turn. You know what I mean? Because if someone is trying to get their point across and you keep cutting, then that's not communicating. You know what I mean? That's not a communication right there, because you're not getting anywhere. No one is understanding what you're saying, because every 5 minutes you're being cut off. So that's why, you know, people first need to understand what communication is and what a person should do when they're communicating. You know, many people don't want to listen. And that's the thing with most men. Most men in general, they don't want to listen. You know what I mean? They're always right. They always want things their way. Especially old school cats. That's what they're about. They'll be like, listen, I want to do this way, and I want to do this that way, and then that's it. I don't want to do it any other way. And the thing is, what old school people forgot, especially the men, they forgot that, listen, the woman also have a voice. You know what I mean? What if she were to say she don't want to do things this way and she don't want to do things that way? Then you will be all upset about it. So you have to also put yourself in each other's shoes. You know what I mean? It's just like, for instance, I, if like I'm with, you know, someone, and so say I'm going to a restaurant or wherever it is, if I don't open the door for that person, I expect for that person to stand there and wait for me to open the door. You know what I mean? That's what they should do, because they'll be like, okay, this is what you should do. That's because you have that kind of expectation. The same thing with a car door, any kind of door. It's just like if you see someone is going up the stairs and she's carrying a heavy bag. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter if it's an elderly person or young person or old, whoever it is. If they're carrying something up the stairs and it's heavy, you should be the man to be like, listen, let me help you out with that. But people call it chivalry, and they say chivalry is dead and all that stuff. No, that's not true. The problem is chivalry just does not get that big, I would say, money viral videos as other crazy stuff. You know what I mean? But people still doing the right thing. You know what I mean? These young cats, they're growing up and they don't really understand what relationship is. You know what I mean? They don't understand what respect is. You know what I mean? They don't understand what communication is. And this is why they're out there doing the things what they're doing, because a lot of things is they just don't understand. They don't have a clue. And most of the time is they just really don't want to know. They would use words like they don't care. And the reality is that everybody cares. Yeah, so my point, what I'm trying to get at is, for her, no matter how she look at it, I think she just have to have that talk with her best friend. Because if this is something that she really wants, I believe that if you really want something, you should at least take steps in that direction. Because you know what? It's a win and lose situation. You know what I mean? You could win something and you could lose something. It's kind of like gamble. You know what I mean? You never know if you're going to win. So for her, I would say go for it. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. Because you know what? 20 years from now, you're probably going to have some kind of regrets and start thinking like, damn, you know what? I should have tried this. I should have did that. And that's why, I have friends right now who are in marriage, who are in relationship, and they're not happy. But that's another story. I don't really want to get into that. But my point is, you know what? If you see a chance where you just might be a lucky person and be happily ever after kind of situation, you have a good tactics. Okay, yeah. I'm a storyteller. I like to tell stories. So that's what I'm doing. So say what? You have a good topic. Oh yeah, basically my topic today is basically should someone date or be with their best friend, which that's a really good topic. As I said, and I shared the story. Many people, they think communication is the key. Because when it has to do with your best friend, it's very complicated. Everybody knows that, because that's your best friend. Whether it's your male or female, telling your best friend, listen, you know what, I think I love you. Oh, that's very complicated. I don't even think the words "I love you" will be able to come out of either person's mouth, because when you're a best friend, you're not seeing that. You're not thinking like that. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be so awkward to even try to break the ice to say something like that. So for the most part, I'm saying that for her, I wish her all the best. And I wish for her to just do the right thing. Let me see what Blair says. My mom told me. Oh, but you know what, Blair? You're right. I think your mom, what I mean, she taught you the right thing. In any instances, no matter what, if you want your husband, your boyfriend, even sometimes it could be a friend who's a male. It doesn't necessarily mean that because he's a friend and he's a male, he's not supposed to open the door for you. He's supposed to open the door for you. Just the same, like if he's with you and he's a male and he's a friend, and if someone is saying something to you and you feel unease, you should not have to say anything to your friend who is a male. He should come to your rescue to see, yo, what's going on over here? What is this? You know what I mean? That's what friend does. Just like the friend could open the car door, You could open the restaurant door. You know, friends that hang out, they do all kinds of stuff. They go all over the place. So what I'm saying is that it's not necessarily say it's a chivalry thing. I think it's a helpful thing. I think it's a loving thing. And I think that if you're really cool with somebody, you want to open the door for that person. You know what I mean? It's just like for me, if I see the mailman coming with his bag and his hands are full with things, listen, common sense. Oh, can you hold the door for me? He shouldn't be saying that. As soon as you see him with a lot of things in his hands, you know that in order for the mailman to open the door, he has to put those boxes down. And you're right there at the door, you open the door. You know, I've seen a lot of people do things and it's just weird. You know what I mean? But as I'm saying, it's a complicated situation. But Blair, you're absolutely right. And you know, and that's how you should always see it. Like no matter what, no matter where you're going, you should always make sure the man open the door for you. You know what I mean? Like if you're in the car, right? Like if you're going somewhere with him and you're in the car, you sit in the car. And then because sometimes as women, you need to demand certain things. I'm not saying that you guys need to demand everything now. I'm just saying certain things you need to demand, not by saying anything about it, just with your action. Okay? Because sometimes when you say stuff, now you might get a response. But when you don't say anything and you wait for, like, you know, whoever it is, your friend or whoever it is to say something to you, then when they say something to you, then you respond. You see the difference? One, you're telling the person, oh, you want to, can you open the door for me? Don't you see me here? Can you open the door? And another one is you're not saying anything. You're waiting for them to say something and then you respond. It's easier to respond than if you're the one who are actually saying something first. So the smart thing to do, guys, is if you happen to go out with anyone, because the thing is, this door thing, whether it's a friend or not, it should be normal for everyone. Whether it's your uncle, whether it's your dad, whether it's your brother, whoever it is, they should hold the door for you. You know what I mean? Not only that, it could go both ways. If you want, you could hold the door for them too. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I would say, you know what I mean, just be nice because that's all that is. Holding the door for somebody is being nice. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a lot, guys. You know what I mean? That I'm here. I've been here now talking for a while, sharing stuff with you guys. You guys been here. You guys been listening, and you guys been commenting on this topic. This was like a really hot topic. You guys was clearly um, involved in this topic, and yeah, I'm just have to say that it was actually really nice. You know what I mean? Talking about this, I just had to get it out there. You know what I mean? I don't know if if she'll be able to watch this one. You know what I mean? I don't know if she's home. I don't know what the situation is. But by all means, if she ever watch my content and she would see this, because most of my friends, they don't really watch my content like all the time, like that I seen, but some do. Yeah, but for the most part, if she does, she'll have an idea that, you know what? So what it says, Marvelous, you have to provide. It's not dead. Well, yeah, you're right. I know chivalry is not dead, but for the most part, I mean, it kind of feels like it because these young guys these days they don't want to do any of that stuff, and if they do any of those stuff, they want to know, okay, what am I gonna get? Am I gonna get anything out of it in return? Kind of situation. Like like people don't want to do things anymore just to be nice. Like the word nice probably soon is gonna be like a word that people don't use anymore. You know what I mean? They're gonna think, okay, why are you using that word? Because it might not have any meaning anymore because people don't understand what it's like. It's easier for people to be mean, to be rude, to be selfish. You know what I mean? It's very easy to do that, but to do something kind, most people they don't have it inside to do something kind. You know what I mean? Because deep down inside, I think people who are not kind and gentle, I think they're hurting deep down inside. or they're struggling with some kind of mental issue that they probably don't even want to talk about. Like, cause most people, they don't see psychiatrists. You know, they drink and they smoke and they pick up some kind of, you know, hobby to help them to get their mind off thinking about this particular thing all the time. So most people, yeah, they are stressed about probably multiple things, especially now what's happening now with this whole, you know, I mean, pandemic thing. You know, a lot of people, you know, I mean, a lot of people is really stressed and really going through some stuff. Whether it has to do with relationships or not, you're stressed. But you know, right now, I think people need to talk more than ever. You know what I mean? Find someone to talk to, whether it's a friend or a family member. You know, like for me right now, my grandma, she calls me every day just to talk. You know, because she would be like, listen, I'm trying to get in touch with my friends. Nobody's picking up, whatever the situation is, so I call you. And then we just talk about any and everything. And we laugh and we, you know what I mean, when we chat. So this is the same thing. You know, it's just like you guys who tune in right now listening, you know, it clears your mind from all the things that you actually have that you need to take care of. That's the amazing thing. Like, you know, because right now, whether it's with family, whether it's with bills, whether it's with wife situation, husband situation, girlfriend, whoever it is, if you come through my channel, at least for an hour, I kind of like, you know, will clear your mind off whatever is going on. You know what I mean? You know, distraction. That's what I am. That's what I try to do. That's why I talk the way I do. That's why I talk about the things that I do. That's why I share the stories that I do, because it's kind of like a distraction. And that's what I want. I want it to be comfortable where you guys can come in, visit my channel, and listen to what I have to say and comment. And, you know, we could have a conversation back and forth, you know, so which is really good. But guys, you know, I didn't even share the chocolate with you. And, you know, I've been here for a while and it's getting pretty late. So this is the chocolate. I just opened it right now. Hershey's. I just wanted to see. I just want to do the taste testing so you guys can see. Yes, definitely ingenious. Use. Anyway, let me try. Let me taste the chocolate before. I think it has some kind of stuff inside. This is what it looks like. Has a number on it. So it's actually not bad. It's actually pretty good, to be honest. Kind of sweet. So what I do, I usually just take one bite. Otherwise, all that sugar can be good for me. And yeah, I try to stay away from sugar. So what I have here, I was eating earlier, is some peanuts. Being a vegetarian is not easy. So like now, I come in, after certain hours, I can't eat. Oh, you love peanuts? Yeah, I'm a peanut guy. So peanuts is pretty much my snack. Um, I don't know what time it is where you guys at, but over here it's 11:26. Hold up, wait, let me see. Let me check that. No, actually, just 11:20, 23 to be exact. So it is 10:23. Yeah, so I'm pretty much an hour ahead with you guys. And you guys are 8. So you see, for me, being up north, you know, the time difference is crazy. And before you know it, I have to get up early in the morning, you know, work. And as you can see, I just got in from work not too long ago, and I just started the live stream with you guys. And I didn't even get to eat anything, but that's kind of like a vegan diet. You kind of like snack on something real quick, and then you drink some water, and then that's it. Usually I would drink some tea, but I'm not gonna drink some tea. So overall, guys, um, the story that I shared about that person. Oh, One of my friends just tuned in, guys. Thank you for the thumbs up. Let me see who it is. Sharon C is here. Appreciate the thumbs up. I haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're okay. Hope all is well with you. And Christy is also here. Thank you so much. Now, I know you guys are a bit late. I know the time difference is crazy. I know that. I get it. Because everyone has a different time, and so people tune in different times. So overall, what you have missed, because you pretty much missed the story. Um, you missed the chocolate tasting. Um, and I was just eating some peanuts. So before I go, Christy and Sharon, I see that you guys just tuning in right now. I could give you an overall of what the story was about. It was like a really nice, people say topic, I say story. Um, Basically, it's about a friend of mine who, I guess she's in love with her best friend, but she don't know how to tell her best friend, listen, you know what, I love you. So she asked for my opinion, and my opinion was, you need to communicate, you need to talk to that friend, but you have to break it down, gentle. You can't just, push something like that onto anyone. So my advice was to say, I am with my kids, but I want to drop by quick. Okay, I know you're with family, but thank you anyway for stop by and just show me love and hit a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. So I said that. Let me get into the overall real quick, because I might have to go in a couple minutes. Getting ready to get some rest, and I got to do it early again tomorrow. Yeah. So yeah, overall for the people just tuning in, I gave her my advice. I said that you need to, have a conversation with him. You need to sit down and just break it down gently. You can't just surprise him with the fact that you guys been friends for like, a long time. You could say 20 years, and all of a sudden you're saying that, what, I love you and I want to be with you. We want to be more than friends. So that's very complicated. I think for most situation, it might not go so good, because we're talking about a best friend situation, um, and chances of a best friends being together, be able to get married and family and kids and all that stuff, is kind of like a fairy tale. It does happen, but rarely it happens. So I would say it's a chance that she's taking by want to like approach her best friend in this kind of way, and just put it out there on the line and say, listen, you know what, I love you and I want something more than friendship. Because wanting more than friendship is going to be a little bit tricky, because if someone has been your friend for so long and he knows a lot about you, you know a lot about him, it's going to be very hard. And if you approach him um aggressively, it might push him away, and you might end up lose your friend. So it's very complicated, and it's something that you just have to use wisdom. You have to make sure you plan it. You make sure that he's comfortable, and you got to make sure that you choose your words wisely. I say personally, if it was me and I was going through anything in that sense where I have a friend and we've been friends for so many years, and I wanted to be more than friends. I actually wanted to be with this person. Yes, Sharon, it's actually very difficult, because that's her best friend for 20 years. So think about it. If you've been friends with a male for 20 years, you know what I mean? And you find out that, okay, you're in love with this friend, you really want to be with this friend, but the friend doesn't know that you feel the way that you do. That makes it very complicated. You know what I mean? Because if you don't be careful, You might say the wrong thing, and you're probably gonna push away your friend, and he's probably not gonna want to be around you. Or even if this friend still be around you, it's gonna be so awkward, and it's gonna be so difficult for him, because now he knows how you feel. And even if he decided that okay, he wants to be with you, it's probably gonna be on a sympathy, standard kind of like, okay, you know what, she's my friend, and you know what, I could try this. But it won't be because he loves you, and he really wants it to work. You know what I mean? It's not like that. It will be like, okay, well, I just do it just to do it. So that's why I'm saying it depends on how she approach it. But I do believe that in any instances, she should say something. You know what I mean? I don't think no woman or any man, if you really like someone, you should not hold it inside. You should get it out. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about text message or letter or you know what I mean, any kind of technology kind of. You mean you need to talk to the person face to face. You know what I mean? Maybe it could be over a phone, depends on the distance. Maybe it's a long distance thing or whatever. But either way, you need to be able to tell the person. You break it down. Make sure you be gentle. Make sure you consider the person's feelings. So you don't try to hurt the person by saying the wrong words. Because at that time they're like vulnerable. To get hurt easily because you're putting your feelings out there, and that's what makes it a little bit complicated. Because on one hand, we're talking about a best friend, and the other hand, you want to have a relationship, you know, with, your best friend. Even though it sounds like it's a good idea, but in some instances, it might not be a good idea. So if you know your best friend, you know what kind of person he is, then, I mean, I think it's easier to take a chance when you know who your best friend is. But if you know he's the kind of person that it's probably gonna shut you down and all that stuff. And even though you feel a certain way, then you know what? You just have to let it go. Move on. Try something different. It might not work for you. I have a few best friends, and I cannot handle. What she said? Like I said, just have a few best friends, and I cannot handle from any one of them. This friendship will naturally die. Actually, you're perfectly right. Sharon says that with her friends that she have, because the thing is, some people say you cannot have male friend, but like Slim would say, Slim said yes, you can have male friends. There's nothing wrong with having male friends. Okay? But what I'm saying is that if one of these male friends approach you and saying I'm in love with you and I want to be with you, then automatically now you start pulling like, really, like I don't feel the same kind of situation, and that's gonna make things awkward. So whenever you see that friend, now automatically you're thinking like, okay, he feels this way, what do I say? So in this situation, you could either make a relationship, or you could break your relationship. Because whenever you explain to your friend that you love them and you want to be with them more than a friend, that might completely mess up your relationship that you had, what I mean, that you have with that friend. So it's very complicated. But I said sometimes it depends on the friend. Because if it's someone that you spend a lot of time with, most likely you can, you know by the jokes. Because sometimes it could be a little bit jokey joke kind of situation, and they would say certain things. Now it might sound like a joke to you, but to them it's not a joke. They really meant it. You know what I mean? So maybe if she were to do something like this, like joke around and say, oh, I love you, I want to be with you kind of situation, and just to see his reaction, and then you kind of be like, what if it was true? Like, how would you respond? Just to hear what him say, just to kind of like get a feel, what I mean, of what he's feeling inside. And then maybe you could go from there. But I would say the worst thing that could happen is that he doesn't feel the same way, and then that's just gonna completely break your guys' friendship. So if you guys been friends for 20 years, that's a long time. And I would say, you know what, you could take a chance. and talk to the friend about it, but you just have to be prepared because things might not go the way that you want, and you might end up losing, a really good friend, a best friend at that. So I'm saying it's a very difficult thing, but my advice is, put it on the line. You just have to know when, where, and how to do it, and you don't want to come on too strong because she said maybe he need to try the joke. No, it's actually Sharon. It's a female. You know, it's a female who is her best friend. She's in love with her best friend, and she wants to tell him. She don't know how to tell him. So that's why I'm saying that it makes it so difficult. Now, I think it might be easy for her based on what she looked like. Earlier, I said, before you stopped by, I said if she looks like Beyonce or Halle Berry or maybe Jennifer Lopez, then for a friend, it will be easy for anyone to come out and just say, well, you know what, I'm in love with you, and things might work out for the most part. But yeah, it's basically what you look like and if he's attracted to you. Because what if your friend is not attracted to you? If he's not attracted to you, most likely it will not work. Shout out to each of everyone. Oh yeah. So PCF is shouted out, giving a shout out to everyone that's in the house today. Yeah, so Sharon, what I'm saying is that it's very complicated. This situation, no matter how you look at it, it can end up bad for her. That's just how I look at it. But if this is what she wants to do, I think she should do it. And I think she should just make sure that she's prepared for whatever result, whatever action he takes, and however he's going to react, you just have to be prepared for it. Because if you've been friends with someone for 20 years and he never once tried to talk to you in more than a friend kind of way, I say most likely this friend is not that into you. This is just the reality. He's not that into you because for all those years that he's with you, and he never once like come out and say, listen, you know what, I want to be with you kind of situation. Then he's not really into you. If he was into you, like listen, there's some female right now who have male friends, and those male friends, every chance they get, they'll say something about his friend, which is a friend that she looks good or whatever it is. So whenever you hear those kind of comments, he likes you more than a friend. But because you keep him in the friend zone, he probably can't do much about it. But he would say things like flirtatious kind of things to let you know that, oh wow, you look really good. I wish all my girls would look like you kind of situation, like playing around. But he really means what he's saying. So yeah, for the most part, I'm saying it's very complicated for her. I'm just hoping that things work out for her. Blair was saying communication is the key, and I agree with Blair. Communication is the key, especially in this particular situation, because it's clear he's not into. Exactly, that's what I was saying. For 20 years, you've been friends with someone, and that person never once asked or said anything to show that, listen, you know what, I like you more than a friend. Because listen, if I'm friends with anyone for more than 20 years, yeah, it makes sense that I'm not that into you. Because if I was into you and I like you or anything about you, I would want to be around you all the time. And eventually, maybe I'll try to make a move or try to say something to let you know that, listen, you know what, I really like you. Because that's how you do it. Either you make a move or you tell her, listen, you know what, I really like you. And you have to do that before 20 years later, you know? And even if you make a move and she puts you in the friend zone, then that's different. But at least you kind of put it out there, you know what I mean? and you'd be like, okay, well, I accept it. You know, she's not that into me, but I'm into her. So I'm not gonna say that she should make a move. I'm just say that maybe she just need to talk about it. I mean, just be nice about it, polite about it, and guys usually respond differently than if it was a woman. You know what I mean? Like for you, Sharon, if one of your friends were to approach you and just say, "Listen, I'm in love with you. I want to be with you," kind of situation, you'd be like, "No." You said, "No. What are you talking about?" I said that you're my friend. I cannot do that. That's how I'm thinking that you would react. You would say, "I cannot do that." Because you're my friend for so many years. But the truth is, if you find that friend, like, if you were attracted to him, whatever about him, it wouldn't really matter if he's a friend or not. So at the end of the day, it's attraction. So if she's attracted to this guy, and if this guy attracted to her, and even though they're best friends, but they really love each other under the covers, nobody really knows, they don't say anything, like a secret thing, then of course the relationship could work, and they could build something together. They could actually be a real couple, and they probably could make it work, because being best friends and being in a relationship, that's actually really good, because he knows you, like, almost everything about you, kind of situation. You know what I mean? So you guys pretty much know each other. You know what I mean? So you know how to maneuver around things. Like if it's like a new couple, now the new person. Did the live just end? Hold on, guys. Let me try to figure out what's going on. So, pretty much, guys. My phone battery is dying. I've been here for a while. Chit chatting with you guys, sharing stories, eating peanuts, eating chocolate, drinking water and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You guys, have a good night. Tomorrow, same time, most likely I'll have another story to share. Appreciate you guys showing up like always, showing love, giving me a big thumbs up. Hopefully everybody was connecting, listening to the stories. And if you like my stories, you show love. So guys, just have a good night. My battery's dying. I don't want it to cut off and you guys get shut out. So I just want to tell you guys, I really appreciate you guys tuning in, listening to my story. And Sharon, as I said, you missed out on a lot of the stories, but at least you have an idea what this story was about, and how we was like discussing like how I should advise the friend of mine about what she should do, which I explained to you that my advice was to basically have a conversation with her best friend. Just be gentle and just don't surprise him with the whole idea that, okay, you know what, I'm in love with you. Just say, listen, you know what, I like you. Or maybe you could use clever tactics, like, what if, what if I told you that I wanted to be with you, what would you say, kind of situation. Because what I found out is that, hey, thank you, my friend, happy to see you. I'm about to get off the live stream, but I see more and more people tuning in right now. The longer I'm on, the more people tune in, But as I said, I'm about to get off the live stream. I've been here now for over an hour. Usually, my goal is just to be on live stream for just 1 hour, but today this topic was so hot. Um, Whatever. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I noticed that you're using that spam word. That's not very good. You should not use spam word, the word subscribe on anyone's channel. Basically, that's a spam word. YouTube doesn't want to use anyone using that word. So, what's his name is Brace or Bryce? Bryce or Brace. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. But I noticed that you use the word subscribe. You don't need to use that word. You could use something else. That's actually a spam word. And by using that word, you know what I mean, YouTube automatically is gonna spam you. I just wanted you to know ahead of time that you can't use that kind of word. So thank you for stopping by. But hold on. I don't even know how to do that. Use channel. Put user in timeout. Mm, nah, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, so I was just checking some stuff. Okay, I noticed that it was deleted. That's very good. As I said, my battery is dying, and I've been here for a while, and you guys are still here. Appreciate everyone who tune in and listening to my stories like always. And I just wanted to let you guys know that every single night I have a new story. And I also have chocolate tasting. The crazy thing is that I just take one bite because of the time. I don't really want to eat like too much sweets and stuff like that. And I usually just get rid of it, which is weird. That's like so like it's like a waste. But you know what? It's easier for me to waste it knowing that it's just sugar and put it in the garbage because if I have a choice, you know, I take in the sugar, especially at this time, and get ready to go to sleep. Or I could put the sugar in the refrigerator or the garbage. You know, what do you choose? So I'll be like, nah, I don't need it. You really don't need sugar anyway. So that's pretty much what I did. But guys, so have a good night. And guys, make sure you be safe out there. And I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Today we actually had a very good time. You know, this was a good topic. Everyone was here. Blair, you've been really good. I noticed that you are always here. I don't want to get too much in details with you, but you're something else. You know, what I mean, you're pretty much amazing. I must say. And Slim and everyone else. Sharon, thank you for tuning in. I know I haven't seen you for a while, but I appreciate the love like always. Everybody else who's here. PCF, Fu Young, thank you for stopping by. Fu Young, I have to go right now. I have work in the morning. So I have to go to get some shut eye like this. What's that now? Well, I didn't sleep with one eye open, kinda. So hopefully everybody connected, everybody is friend. Hopefully everyone gives me a thumbs up, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna have to put my phone on the charger because it's about to die anyway. So thank you guys, and I will see you